We're not Mr. Riggins. David Riggins. I'm David Riggins, and I can tell you that I have been where you are right now as a council member and as a mayor. I served as a council member in my city of Benton, Louisiana for 10 years and served as the mayor for 6 years. And of course, I've been to Winsboro several times when I was president of LMA, and I worked with your former mayor several times. I'm on the agenda to talk about Government Consultants of Louisiana, Inc. Some of you that may have attended a couple of conventions, I did a couple of workshops on budgeting and financing of projects. And I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about Government Consultants and what all we do and some of the areas that we are working in and how to see how we may be able to help you in the near future and talk about some of the products and everything that we do. We are located out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Of course, I've left the public entity, went back into private business, try to make a little money to send kids to college and all that stuff. We did my grandkids, so you can't fault me for that, for getting out of the public for a little bit. But we are a firm that we are SEC registered financial advisory firm, and we are currently the financial advisors for the city of Monroe, the city of Baton Rouge. We are also the city of Westlake, Lake Charles, several parishes in the south. And after attending some of the conferences that we've had, the mayor has talked to me about coming here just to talk with you guys and tell us what all we do. And we would like the opportunity to come up and work with the wonderful city of Winsboro on anything you may have and talk about how you can finance and improve on projects you may be doing in your city. I have brought a resolution with me that is not on the agenda, and I may yield at this time, Mayor, to ask the council, if you would amend your agenda to allow the presentation of the resolution that I had brought. I thought it was on the agenda. At this time, I would ask the council if you would agree to amend the agenda so that we can hear the resolution. Do I get a motion? Been properly moved. Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor say aye. All in favor raise your right hand. Let the record reflect that it's unanimously approved.
Thank you all so very much for that. And again, I apologize that I thought I got the resolution here in time. What that resolution does that you have before you is employ us. It doesn't cost you nothing when you employ us to come in and do an analysis of your city to see what your capacity is for financing any projects you may have in this area. It doesn't matter what the project is, infrastructure, whatever. And we're doing this across the state, throughout the state of Louisiana. As I said, we are doing a lot of the budget workshops for the LMA Association. We did them in August. We'll be doing them again in February and again in August. And we also do it at the Clerks Association also. And we are helping people finance projects throughout the state that they thought before that they could not do. And the way we work as a SEC registered financial firm is we come in and do these analysis, and there is no cost to you unless you actually do a project, and then it is included in the cost of issuing. So I can work with the city of Winsboro for 6 years, and I would never collect a check from you unless you actually close on one of your projects. So we are not like other professionals that every time we come before you, there's a bill that comes for so many hours of work. That's not the way we operate. We only operate and receive compensation if we close out a project that you as a council and the mayor decide that you want to get done, and it goes from there. So I would ask that you would consider that an motion to, if you would like to employ us to do that, to come do an analysis of the city, see what your financing capacity to be on projects you may have in your mind. The council may have projects, the mayor may have projects, the police department, the fire, or the public works department may have projects. And collectively we'll get together and see what all funds that may be available to do these projects, from revenue funds to general obligation, or maybe a combined of all your income, of all your lawful available funds. And with that said, I would yield at this time for any questions you may have and try my best to answer them to what's my capacity.
I'll ask a question, Mr. Riggins. And I'm just looking at the resolution, which we just received tonight.
That's correct.
Section 2, it says the mayor is hereby authorized to negotiate fees for services between the city financial advisors to be paid from bond proceeds such as financing occurs.
Right.
that section too.
Okay.
To me.
What I mean by that bonds in general are sold, like in certain cities we work, they're like $1.25 per bond or $2 per bond, depending on the complexity of the transaction. So those are the fees that you currently may authorize the mayor to do certain contracts that you having to do, but you'll authorize the mayor to keep from us having to come back to the council every time to negotiate fees, to negotiate in the best interest of the city those fees. And that is why that is in there. To keep from maybe you working on a transaction for us coming back every time to negotiate with the council, you will authorize the mayor do what is best for Winsburg. Because most times, most bond issues don't cost over $2 or $2.50 per bond issue, and it's calculated that way. But based on the complexity or the simplicity of it, it may be $1.75. Right.
Mr. Riggins,
Yes.
the only information that we have on you and your firm at this particular time is what we have presented before us in the form of a resolution.
Right. And I did.
Do you have any additional information in reference to your capacity and
Yes,
your ability to
I
handle this
did bring some
type
of our brochure. As I said, we are the ones that do the budgeting. I don't know if you attended any of the workshops at LMA and the Clerks Association, that we'll be doing again at the Midwinter Conference and so forth. I do have another large book in the office I can send back up here. Several mayors and several people have asked me for those books, but we do have the brochures on our firm that she's passing out before you. And that any time that you want to contact any of us, we'll be glad to come up and talk with you. With me are two of the people from our firm, Nandy Thompson and also David Medley with our firm also. David is the former finance director of the city of Baton Rouge for 32 years. Of course, Nandy is a former banker with Cruz and Associates, and there are about 4 other people in our firm. I don't know if you remember Gordon King, who used to be the executive director of the LMA, and we were all working together here in Baton Rouge. We are doing this throughout the state.
I'd like to have, I see a copy of that particular paraphernalia that you might have, the large book in addition, which gives us more detail of your firm and whatever it is that you, whatever duties that you perform. And we'd appreciate that.
I'll ask another question, which may be this: if we employed or utilized a financial advisor, it would be the first time that I know in history that Winsboro has ever done such. And I feel as though we've done well. What advantage do the people of Winsboro, what will they receive from having a financial advisor versus however we've been doing it for all these years?
What happens in those aspects are, I've gone into cities that have not had financial advisors, particularly smaller cities, and a lot of times they have taken all their revenue and crammed it into one amortization to where they could have spread it out their costs over several years and be able to do more than one project at a time. Most times, small cities, and I come from a small city, before I took over as mayor, we were doing certificate of indebtedness. You can only get 10 years out of that. And then you may have 3 or 4 projects on the book that you want to do, but because you're paying such a high return for the money, you're not able to do but one project at a time, and you've got construction costs that are escalating, whereas you possibly can extend this over the life of the project by going out and getting financing in the marketplace, which will allow you to do projects for 20 or 30 years based on the life of the project. Then you are able to do more expanded work and more than one project at a time. That's where we come in, negotiate with banks, negotiate with outside markets and so forth, and get you lower interest rates and lower costs on other professions to get you the job done.
And we don't have to pay you unless
You close the project out. And that can take 6 months, that can take 6 years. It takes that long to get it done. There's no cost to you until you actually close this project out and include it in the cost of the issue. Any other questions?
Well, would the council be in agreement to accept the resolution? If so, I'll entertain a motion.
With all due respect, I personally would move that, I'll make this a form motion, that we table this until we can gather the additional information from your company. and bring it up at a later date, and that's in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we table the motion until you're able to bring the rest of the,
I'll FedEx that to you.
excuse me?
I'll FedEx that book up to you tomorrow.
That sounds good. All in favor of said motion, say aye. Aye. Opposes? Let the record reflect that it was unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
At this time, the council will now recognize any visitors who would like to address the council. Going once, twice, 3 times. Thank you very much. Okay.